can you talk a little bit about the decision to go from the high school coaching ranks to try your hand at first in the pros and now here in college? What that decision was like for you?
Yeah, I just think in any profession, your goal is to move up. And I had a really good run at the high school level, but I wanted to challenge myself more. And obviously, when the Dolphins called, I thought it was a great opportunity. It was at home. I didn't have to uproot the family, and it was an opportunity to go learn at the highest level. And from there, when Coach Norvell gave me the call, just spending that year at the pro level, it wasn't as intimate as the high school level. So when I got the call from Coach Norvell, I thought about it because it was a tough decision, but ultimately I decided because it gave me more of a high school feel, a feel where I can be more hands-on with the guys. And so far so good. They welcomed me with open arms, have a good group of kids, and looking forward to the challenge. So we did pretty good last year. We want to raise that mark, these upcoming years.
Aslan with Warcheck.
Do you and Coach Norvell have like a pre-existing relationship? Is there anybody on the staff how did it sort of come about? Did you have an agent reach out to him? Can you kind of walk us through that process?
Yeah, just coaching at the high school level, you see these guys all the time come and recruit my school, which is one of the premier high schools in the country. So I knew Coach Norvell from recruiting. Obviously, Randy Shannon actually coached me with the Dolphins. That's how old Randy is. I know Coach Dave Johnson. I'm originally from New Orleans, so I know Dave from New Orleans. Played against Ryan Dugans. Obviously, I know Coach Odell, Keywan, Coach Ross. So I was familiar with a lot of guys on the staff, and that made the transition, much easier. Just knowing that I can come here and these guys, kind of help me through the process, get started and everything. And like I said, man, so far it's been great. Those guys have been great. The whole administration's been great, and just looking to get this thing rolling.
We've got one on Zoom here, Matt Rochelle with Orlando Sentinel.
Yeah, Patrick, I want to ask, when you get a chance to sit down and actually look at what Florida State did last year, the last couple of years, what is your assessment of the defensive backs and the secondary as a whole?
Yeah, just growth and maturity. I think, those guys finished 4th in the country in passing yards allowed. I think the thing that, we want to do more this year is take the ball away. Being around football a long time, I think if you're able to win a turnover battle, you have a pretty good chance of winning almost 85% of your games. So, even though we held teams to 165 passing yards a game, I think the next step will be, taking the ball away and giving our explosive offense the ball repeatedly.
SM Kasim, Democrat.
Hey, you mentioned you're from Miami. You played for the Dolphins. So how hard was the decision to uproot the family you mentioned and come to Florida State?
It was a tough decision. Obviously I was at the highest level. Why leave the highest level, take a step down, to college? But I haven't been in college, so I wanted to test the waters, kind of get my feet wet and see what it was. And I haven't coached a game yet, but just being around the guys, it's like I said, it gives me more of a high school feel, where I'm able to kind of mold these guys, into what they're going to become. And I'm looking forward to the challenge. Obviously, we have some lofty expectations this year, to make it to the Final Four and beyond. So it's going to be a challenge, but I'm up for it.
Chris Need, 247.
Coach, how much do you think, having been at the high school level, having a son go through the recruiting process, having a ton of players get recruited at a high level, gives you a different perspective as a recruiter now at the college level?
It's different. It's different. Obviously, in high school, you're dealing with younger guys, but at this level, you actually got to get on the road. And with Florida State being a national school, you got to go find players all over. I know we have our regions and everything where we recruit, but if we're going to get Florida State back to where we needed to be, we got to go get the best players in the country, no matter where they are. And that was my message, and I think Coach, has taken heed to that and just letting me go get guys. So, it's been a new experience for me, but it's been worth it. And I know you hear all the negative connotations about recruiting and all that, but it's no big deal. You know, you're just developing relationships with kids, you know, meeting the parents, and for me, that's fun. The hardest part is the driving part, but I get used to that. But it's, you know, I got here, 3 weeks ago, they put me on the road the next day. So it's been fun.
Zach Blowstein, 247.
I guess just
I'm finally getting to see you guys' faces. You know, I know 247, but now I'm finally getting to see y'all. So it's all good.
when you're breaking down film of these high school prospects or guys in the transfer portal, what exactly are you looking for in your defensive backs?
Yeah, I'm looking for guys who's doing things similar to what we're gonna do at this level. We play a lot of press coverage, and you know, I'm looking for guys who play press man, and I get kind of spoiled because I coach, you know, guys at Heritage who actually played, you know, that press man. Obviously, my son Tyson gone to the Pro Bowl and see him this week, you know, in Las Vegas. So, you know, you kind of get spoiled, but there's a lot of talent out there, and you just gotta, you know, turn every leaf over to go find them, and I'm willing to do that. And, you know, really with the location of Florida State, you don't have to go too far to find them. All the talent in Florida and Georgia, Louisiana, right there. Obviously the Panhandle and Mobile, you know, you can kind of get the majority of the guys from those places. But you know, I want a guy who's gonna play similar technique, a guy who has natural ball skills. So you might have a receiver, you know, in high school right now going both ways that's gonna be projected to play, you know, defensive back in college. And you know, that's the kind of guys I'm looking for.
Back to Zoom for Matt Marshall.
Yeah, Patrick, you mentioned you jumped right in, you got recruiting right away. How much of a challenge was that going from the NFL to the college game where you had to actually go out and recruit some of these guys?
You know what? It's been fine. It's been fine. Like I've heard the horror stories about recruiting, but you know, from what I've experienced, it hasn't been that way. And obviously with the NFL, you know, those guys do a little bit of recruiting, but it's in a different way, like going to pro days and, you know, the combine. So it's kind of similar in that way. So it really hasn't been a big adjustment for me, because I was used to doing it just on a smaller scale in high school. So, you know, like I said, man, so far so good, and I'm actually looking forward to getting to meet more kids and more parents and developing relationships to get us to that next level.
Corey Clark, Wartown.
When you're a great player like you were, how hard is it to then try to teach other people to be great? Because some guys maybe don't have some of the natural ability or just the ability that you had. So what was that transition like to coach guys that aren't Patrick Surtain?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think you gotta treat every individual separately. You know, some guys may do things better than other guys, so that's where the coaching aspect come into part. You gotta find out what each individual guy does best and kind of try to hone those skills and the deficiencies that he have. You know, try to work on them and put them within our team concept. You know, it's gonna be a challenge, but I feel I have a great room of guys who are willing to work, and you know they've been bright-eyed. You know, just knowing that I'm coming in and knowing, you know, the pedigree and the guys that I've coached. So I'm actually looking forward to it because I feel we have a group that has a chance to be really, really special.
Do they know? I assume they knew who you were when they looked you up. If they didn't know after you were hired, but have you talked to them about your NFL career and
I have. I've met with each and every player, and I told them I might have to find some of my film on VHS.
Sure.
I don't know if they know anything about that, any VCRs or anything, but now they knew. They mostly knew because the same name and my son was just, you know, closer to their age. But you know, Coach Norvell made sure they know in the team meetings to bring my accolades up or whatever. But you know, that's all in the past, man. I'm here to do a specific job here, and that's to get those guys better. Make sure those guys are doing great on and off the football field, and ultimately graduating, and you know, try to live out that lifelong dream and make it to the NFL. If not, you know, teaching them certain life lessons to be, you know, just great young men all around.
Essen?
Yeah, you mentioned earlier the next step for the defense is to create turnovers. How do you go about doing that? Is it like is there certain drills you do? How do you go about creating the turnovers?
Yeah, we just got to work on it. I know we have tackle turnover circuit every day in practice, so just punching the ball out, getting 11 hats to the ball. Don't loaf, because, you loaf on the pass, you might miss a tip or an overthrow. So my whole goal is to get the guys to run to the ball each and every play. When you run to the ball on defense, good things happen. So, and obviously the interception part of it, just having guys, play the ball better, getting their heads around when need be. Sometimes you need to get your head around, sometimes you need to play through the hands. Just different scenarios like that, and hopefully, get in some position where we can use zone eyes to kind of get zone vision and just play the routes and play the quarterback. So, it's going to be a work in progress, but I feel I have the group of guys to get it done.
Zach?
Coach Chabelle has mentioned, multiple times over the years that he wants to continue to recruit South Florida at a high level. How do you feel like, coaching down there for several years at the high school level, how do you feel like you help in that aspect?
I know all the kids. That's a big part. I know all the coaches, and I think those kids down there respect what I've done in the past, and I think they see that Florida State is on the up and up, and when college football was at its best, Florida State was at its best. And I think we're getting back to that point where with this last season, and guys see the movement that Coach Norvell has started, and all the guys that he's hired, the players that he's brought in. I think they want to be part of that. So I have a big influence on the South Florida community within the football realm and high school kids, and I think that this is something that they'll be really excited to be part of.
Bob Ferrante with Osceola.
Hey, Coach, I'm curious, going back to college, Dolphins and Chiefs, who are your coaching influences, the guys who are maybe the voice in your head when you're talking to guys?
Yeah, I go back to my high school coach, Coach Ott, who coached me since 8th grade, Coach Watney, my basketball coach, Coach Robinson, a bunch of influences. At the college level, my defense coordinator, Coach Thompson, Coach Dave Womack, who's been the head coach in college before. And in the league, I can just hear Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson, my position coach, Mel Phillips. I've had a lot of influences, in my career. I'm never in a million years that I think I would, get into coaching after I retired. I was just trying to find something to do and just going to my son's Little League practice. I'm like, I'm out here every day, I might as well help out. And then, everything kind of started from there. And, you develop these relationships with these kids, man, and you just fall in love with it. And that's what kind of happened to me.
You've actually played in this stadium before. In 1996, you played this team back
Yes.
when it was in its glory days. What do you remember about that game, if anything? Did you cover Rod Dukins? Was he in that game, I guess?
I remember we got our butt kicked.
Well, yeah, they did.
Well, we were actually up 7-0, I think, and then it was like,
I just looked, it was 14-14.
it was 14-14, see? I remember after that, we couldn't get a 3-step ball because they had Peter Boulware, Renard Wilson, Wadsworth, all them guys, and I know Peter Ward was on that team.
Mm-hmm.
Who was the quarterback, Winky?
No, that would have been Busby.
Busby, I
Warwick
know
Dunn was
Warwick
on
Dunn
it.
was on that team, so they were loaded. That was the Florida State team to the bowl, and I remember coming here, man, and the atmosphere was, second to none. 14-14, when they wound up 50-14.
54-14.
So they went on a 40-0 run on us. So I remember vividly.
Logan?
Hey, Coach, what is like the energy around Mike Norvell? Did that attract you quite a bit of coming here and coaching?
Absolutely. I remember when he came, to the school and recruited. He had that same passion and just talking to guys who coach under him from Memphis. They say he's always that way. He always have that energy, man, and he's well liked. He's respected by his players. He's tough in a way, but at the same time, he's relentless in the pursuit of excellence. And you can see, man, those first 2 years, he was kind of trying to get his guys in, trying to get this thing rolling. Then last year, it kind of just happened. And I don't see it slowing down anytime soon. He has a blueprint in place that's gonna, take us to where we need to get.
Brendan?
You mentioned that you hit the ground running when you got here 3 weeks ago. In that span, there's been open recruiting period. You've gotten to meet your new players. I guess, how are you balancing all these new things in such a short period of time?
It's hard. I haven't even found a place to stay yet, so I'm just chilling at the AC Marriott right now. But hopefully in these next couple of weeks, like you said, February is a dead period, so we'll get more time off. So hopefully I can just get settled and just get on some solid footing. But as far as the recruiting and the kids and everything, you do all that in the office, just the off the field stuff, just getting the family situated. That's the thing that's been, been the most hard. But the good thing is I have my daughter's here. My daughter's at FAMU, so I get to see her, every day, and it's been good.
Aslan?
Would you have been able to walk away from an NFL job if this program wasn't on the rise and had 10 wins?
Probably not. Probably not. And it's still the state of Florida. Like if Minnesota would have called me, I would have stayed with the Dolphins. If Washington State called me, I would have stayed with the Dolphins. But Tallahassee, 5 hours away from home, with an iconic program like Florida State that's getting back to their glory days, it was the perfect situation. So, lightning happened in the bottle twice with the Dolphins and now Florida State, and I'm ready to leave my mark on the program.
I mean, it's Super Bowl or bust at the next level. I mean, the fact that you're here now in a program, it seems like there's a championship or bust mentality. How much are you embracing that? How much you enjoy being around that?
Oh, that's fun. That's why you coach. That's why you coach. You have all these expectations put on you, but your job as a coach to get your guys ready each and every Saturday to go fulfill those expectations. And you may come up short, but you're gonna give the 100% each and every day. And I think if you do that, and just be solid with these kids, you can look yourself in the mirror and say, I gave it all I got. And with the talent we have coming back, we definitely have a chance to be really, really special this year.
Okay. We're all set. Thank you.
Good?